Alright, settle in, buttercups, because if you've ever, and I mean ever, needed a cosmic slap in the face, a neon sign flashing, quit your 9 to 5 job, this, my friends, is it. And I'm not just here to whisper sweet nothings, I'm here to scream the truth from the rooftops, because frankly, most of you are living a lie, a comfortable, soul-crushing lie, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Now, this whole rant, this entire cathartic explosion, is heavily, and I mean heavily inspired by one of those internet gems. A video I stumbled upon called I Can't Work a 9 to 5. The dude in that video, he basically just lays it out, doing work that doesn't fulfill your very essence is, long-term, about as smart as trying to teach a cat to fetch. It is just plain stupid, and he hammers home the cold, hard fact that these colossal corporations, these so-called families you work for, they don't actually give a flying fig about you. You're a cog, a replaceable part, and they'd swap you out for a shiny new one in a heartbeat if they needed to. Literally, in days. It was, and I'm not exaggerating, a really damn good video, and it sparked a wildfire in my brain, lit up 1,000 tiny light bulbs. So yeah, go check that out. Right after you finish soaking up this wisdom, I'll link it down below, because trust me, it is worth your time. But before we go any further, I want to rewind way back to January of 2022. This, my friends, was the day I officially severed ties with my 9 to 5, and let me tell you, the feeling, it was like shedding a skin, like breathing fresh air after being underwater for far too long. It was exhilarating, terrifying, and utterly, unequivocally, the right move. So here is the backstory. We had basically been merged into another company after my old boss, bless his heart, had kind of gracefully, or maybe not so gracefully, retired. He'd made his millions, good for him, and he was no longer interested in the daily grind of running the company. So, myself and another manager, we were being prepped to potentially work with our biggest customer at the time. My colleague, he shifted off to that new role, and I was left in the lion's den negotiating, on shaky ground, with what was supposed to be my new boss. He, bless his oblivious heart, had no idea, absolutely no clue, that I had leverage, serious leverage. See, in the background, quietly, diligently, I had been building a side consulting business, a little secret weapon, if you will. So this new boss and I, we got into these deep, intense conversations, back and forth. It was a Tuesday, or maybe a Wednesday night. I can't quite remember the exact day, but it was late, and we were on the phone for over an hour. And let me tell you, it wasn't going in either of our preferred directions. He was pushing, I was pushing back, and then, he drops the bomb. He goes, you know what, man, I could just resign this entire contract, and you could basically have nothing. You could have no offer, no salary, nothing, and just leave. Would you prefer that? Can you believe the audacity, the sheer, unadulterated arrogance? He was being an absolute prick, just rubbing it in, trying to exert his power. There was this excruciatingly awkward 10-second pause. Neither of us said a word. I was just there, processing, my brain doing 1,000,000 miles an hour. What the hell just happened, I thought. And then it hit me. I had two options. Right then and there, my immature, petty side, the little devil on my shoulder, was screaming. Drill right back into him, tell him, F you. You have no idea. I have 12 grand in monthly revenue coming in at the end of this month from my consulting business. Do you honestly think I need this lowball offer? Do you think I need this new job that you're so high and mighty about? You're just drinking your own cool. Aid buddy, I was 23 years old at the time, full of fire. And honestly, as much as I wanted to unleash that verbal onslaught, I'm incredibly glad I didn't. Looking back, it would have been a childish, impulsive mistake. Instead, I played right into his game, and this, my friends, is a golden nugget of advice for anyone looking to navigate the murky waters of office politics. To get that next leg up, I highly recommend you master this move. I said, you know what, man, you're absolutely right. Let's move forward. I agreed outwardly to his terms, and he, the unsuspecting fool, sent the contract over. Did I sign it? Nope, not a chance, and I never ever planned on signing it. We always had these end-of-week meetings, Friday afternoons, you know the drill, and he goes, let's meet. Let's do our normal thing. I just wanted to, bump the contract. Remember, that first contentious conversation had happened on a Wednesday. 2 days had passed, and I hadn't sent anything back, not a peep. So, we're on this call, and I just calmly, coolly go. You know what, man? It has been great, potentially working with you. Things have been going well with the other corporation, but with this new offer, I have absolutely no interest. This is my official decline, and/or, if you will, my resignation. I'm not interested in working with you, and we'll just take it from there. The silence on his end was deafening. He was stunned, absolutely taken aback. His jaw, I imagine, was on the floor, and honestly, it was kind of satisfying. I won't lie, it was a really interesting moment. But what was truly profound, truly unforgettable, was the feeling at the end of that call, when we all hung up. When it was finally over, I had never in my entire life felt more satisfied. And looking back, now at 26 years old, it has been without a shadow of a doubt the absolute best risk I have ever taken. Ever in my entire 26 years on this planet, still to this day. And you know what? It was almost like an instinctual switch flipped. It was a Friday night, and as soon as I opened the door to my apartment, the girl I was living with at the time, she was just sitting there, and I just blurted out, "I did it, I'm out," and she just hugged me, squeezed me tight. "Let's go," she said. "I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy for you." And I knew in that moment the healthy pressure I felt, it was like a drug high. It was freeing. In the most profound sense of the word, it was like, I have full capability to do whatever the hell I want, to work and go super hard on this consulting business. And I have to make this work. There is no going back. Now, I'm going to drop some serious wisdom, some of my personal advice, in a second. But first, I have to give credit where credit is due. My dad, bless his pragmatic soul, was the one who pushed me. He said, "Dude, what is the worst that can happen, right? Best case scenario, you have this huge upside opportunity with your own business. You've been talking about this for years. There is no better timing to do it. You've got some savings to last if, absolutely all hell breaks loose." Or, he continued, "Worst case, you just say, 'Hey guys, I messed up. Things didn't go my way. Can I have my job back?' Or, you just go find another sales job because you've got the skill set." He asked me, very simply, very profoundly, what is the literal worst that can happen? And I remember being super emotional at the time, but that conversation, that single call, basically solidified my decision. It was the push I needed. Now, listen up, full disclaimer time. 9-5s, they can be incredible. I'm not hating on them, not at all. In fact, I actually recommend them, especially for skill stacking, for earning to learn. Basically, if you're in the right one. Obviously, if you're in some warehouse job, then, come on, there is not much room for growth there. But if you're in some startup, if you're in the tech world, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. The rooms I was able to get into just because of the people I knew. And more importantly, being able to make mistakes on other people's behalf was insane. When you're working for a company, when you're responsible for a mistake, quote unquote, it is not really your responsibility, sure. You may hear a little bit about it, but the main brunt of it is going to these guys, to the company, right? And you may be told off or whatever, get a little bit of a chew out from your boss. But at the end of the day, the company takes all that risk. The CEO is the one who is used to getting bitched at. Trust me, I'm not crapping on 9-to-5s, right? I have employees. I absolutely 100% need employees to run my businesses. But I knew, personally for me, I wanted more. I wanted more risk. I wanted all the upside, knowing there was also this huge downside, that if I messed up, I was going to pay for it, big time. But, luckily, it didn't go that way. And my calculated risk paid off. And of course, again, take this with a grain of salt. If you're backed up in bills, if you have a ton of debt, obviously do what you need to do, right? And I'm going to have some very near future videos coming out talking about this. That just, do what you can, how not to live paycheck to paycheck, what to invest, all these types of things. But guys, 2025 is right around the corner, and it is high time. We have tens of thousands of people making tons of money, multi-figures, with things like TikTok Shop, for example, or agency service businesses, or just being a content creator in general. People that are no smarter than you or me, making truckloads of money, and I'm sitting there scratching my head, being like, some of these kids are making more money than I am, and it is like, it absolutely just, it pisses me off in the best way possible. But it is enough to be like, no, I can do this too. There is more than enough market share for everyone, and there is so much opportunity that you just need a small, tiny sliver of. So if you're working that warehouse job or that job you just hate, it is time, if you absolutely need to, burn those bridges, put some pressure on yourself, quit that job, and start your own damn thing, build your own security, build your own wealth and equity in something that you own and you have control of. So you can take care of your family and ultimately have true freedom. You have no idea how good it feels to be able to do whatever the hell I want. And I want you to experience this for yourself. Everyone is entitled to that if they want it, and everyone should if they want to. Again, I'm going to have tons more videos coming out like this in the future, but I needed to get this point across that now is the time. So if you've made it this far, as always, I want you to subscribe if you're new and or if you enjoyed the video. And we'll take it from there. Thanks. Stay boring, stay patient, peace.